So today we're asking the question, USB or XLR microphones, which one's better? Let's find out.
So what are the pros of a USB microphone?
Okay, so some of the pros of a USB microphone are it's portable, so you can take it anywhere, you can record anywhere, as long as you can connect it up to a laptop or a computer. There's no need for a mixer or an audio interface, so you just plug it straight into your computer and off you go. They're usually quite a bit cheaper than an XLR microphone, and they are pretty easy to use. So if you're a beginner and you don't have a lot of technical knowledge, it's probably what you want to go for.
So what are the cons of a USB mic?
So some of the cons would be it's less customizable. Because you don't need to route it through a mixer, you can't adapt it as much as an XLR. Sometimes multiple USB microphones do struggle to get recognized on a computer. It'll quite often just pick up the first one. And you can't replace individual components. So with an XLR, you can replace the mixer, the cables. With a USB microphone, generally, you can't replace individual components, so you'd probably have to replace the whole microphone. So on that note, what are some of the pros of an XLR microphone, like the Behringer B1 right there?
Well, the first thing is they're very adaptable. In other words, you can swap out the cables and other components for them. Another thing is they're very durable. So like this one we've got here, it's very beat up, but it's lasted a couple of years, so it's pretty good. Another thing is there are actually more variety of XLR microphones because they're used in productions a lot in comparison to like a USB microphone. So another thing is they're very customizable, so you can send your audio out to an audio interface, an audio processor or a mixer, and that way then you can reduce post-production.
So what are some of the cons of an XLR microphone in that case?
Well, the first thing is they're very, very costly. A microphone like this is quite cheap, but it can go into the thousands of dollars for just a microphone. So another thing is they're quite hard to transport. With a microphone like this, you need an XLR cable, you need a mixer to power it up, so it can be quite cumbersome after a while. And the last thing is you do need a little bit of technical knowledge to use an XLR microphone, because you need to hook it up to a mixer and you need to make sure the channel's right, you need to make sure the audio's right in that mixer, and if you're going through an audio processor, you've got to make sure the levels are right in that as well. So there's a few steps you need to use an XLR microphone in comparison to like a USB microphone where you just plug it in. So what microphone should you be using?
So if you're a beginner just starting out, you probably want to look at it as a USB because they're cheaper, they're a lot more easy to use, beginner friendly. So that's probably where you want to look if you're just starting out. If you're looking for a more professional setup, most likely you want to go for an XLR because they are a lot more customizable. They cost a bit more, but they will probably last you longer in the long run and they can grow as your podcast grows. Which one is actually better, Jamie?
Which one is better? Well, it just depends on your actual setup. I mean, if you're a newcomer, then a USB microphone is perfect because you can just hook it up to a laptop or a computer and then away you go. But with an XLR, they're mainly for professional setups and it gives you more control. So I would advise getting an XLR microphone if you want like 2 or 3 microphones in a studio. Just like this one that we've got in here, which is the Podcast.co studio. With a studio like this, you actually don't need any technical know-how. You don't need to think about an XLR or a USB microphone, which one you need, because it's all set up for you. So
if you wanted to look at renting out a space like this, like the Podcast.co studio here in Manchester, England, feel free to head on over to podcast.co/studio. All the information you need is right there on that page.
Head on over to podcast.co/blueprint and get your copy today. The report includes loads of secrets and loads of shortcuts to allow you to get started really quickly, grow your podcast fast with minimal fuss and no technical headaches.